Pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Why Is That. And now here on Why Is That, this is number 39, but yet, as I've said before, there were times where my YouTube channel had gone through a lot of crazy things here and there, and of course this did induce a trigger point where a blackout period ended up taking place. But this question in general talks about some of the things that I have done in the past, especially within the last decade or so. So, without further ado, let me just go ahead and answer this question down here. Question number 39 down here in the screenshot basically says, why is that back in 2010 through 2016 you uploaded a lot of awful content for the whole world to see? Now, of course, let me just reiterate the point that I've explained in question number 38 of 65 here in this season of Why Is That, where someone actually thought that I wasn't doing a good job when it came to critiquing or criticizing or talking about things at all. But of course, I pretty much did what I could to prove my point. That my channel is not going to be like many of the others out there that ended up getting through some pretty heavy consequences, including community guideline strikes, age restrictions, demonetization, and all that horrible stuff that would definitely take place if I were to follow in their footsteps. But you know what? I am not taking that risk, nor am I willing to find out at all what does happen to you. So with that being said, I might as well talk about a few things that I actually have done before YouTube's new policies ended up coming in and their rules continuously had changed. Because after all, I've already talked about, especially from 2009 to 2013, that there were a lot of things that I have done on YouTube that involved some dangerous acts, some foul language and whatnot, especially a lot of F-bombs and S-bombs, despite the fact that I was only 10, 14 years old during those years. Yeah, 10 years old in 2009, 14 in 2013. Yeah. And yet I was naive enough to think that nothing could happen to me. In spite of everything that I had ever done, the viewership that I've gotten, some likes as well as dislikes that I have managed to receive on some of those videos, my channel was actually going fairly well for what it was back then. There were a lot of stunts that I had pulled off. There were a lot of awfully disgusting things out there that might have grotesqued the heck out of people, but you know what? I feel like it's about time I go ahead and explain a lot of this. Back then, I was really mindless. Just mindless. That's pretty much all you need to know about that. But in the 10 years since those things have happened, up until here in 2020, I was really able to work out all the bugs, fix up my mistakes, and give myself a path to redemption. So this way I could once again prove to people that my content shouldn't have to be like that. And considering what I've already done in the last 4 years or so, I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job at this point. But I still got a long way to go before I reach a point in my life where I can consider my channel to be very successful. But you know what though? The years of 2010 to 2016, how you might think that that's significant and what that has to do with any of the things that I've done back then, I guess I'll never really know. But I do feel like I might as well go ahead and start explaining a couple things really quick about that, because basically through those years alone, especially up until 2013 when the so-called blackout period took place for the first time, and then I received a critical ban from YouTube. Not that I was actually banned by YouTube themselves, I was actually banned by YouTube from my own family. Because not only were they so appalled and so, well, agitated by all the content that I've uploaded for the whole world to see, not only were they threatening to do a lot of other stuff to me back then, but, I mean, there would have been a lot of other punishments I would have had to endure if they didn't get their way. So you know what? That's kind of when I temporarily agreed with them. Because within a few years or so, simply put, I was able to get control of my own account back, as they had changed the email and password, since I was stupid enough to hand them both over to them. But because I was able to get a new cell phone in September 2016. I was able to regain access to my own account, change the password, as well as, well, a few other things here and there, so that way they can't do that stuff again. But that didn't really mean that I was totally in the clear at that point, because even though it had been more than 3 years at that time, September 2016 was a time where, well, I still didn't really learn much. Nor was I pretty much ready to get back at it and make my channel public all over again, as they had also privated it just probably for my own safety. I mean, why would they care so much about my own safety when the truth is I can defend myself because I've learned about Systema? And yeah, I could pull off some moves for you right now if anyone who's watching this would want to know if it's really true or not. But you know what? I don't really have someone to train with, nor am I really in the mood to do it, so tough luck with that. But anyways, a lot of things that I've actually done throughout those years of 2010 to 2016, even during the blackout period, which started in January 2013 and worked all the way through to June of 2018, just after I graduated high school. Those were pretty much times where I had tried to learn some things here and there, try to learn from my own mistakes, and also try to persevere for what the future could probably hold if I kept going on for it. I still kept on uploading content to my channel, and I did in fact keep them private for a while, but then eventually I ended up getting rid of a lot of it. But you know what? That's probably not to worry, because after all, in 2013, the same year that the blackout period took place for the first time, months later, was when I decided to try and come up with something new. And I just remembered at that time, in spring of 2013, that about a year prior was when I actually thought about creating my own web series that was Nerf related. And so, we all know what came to that, right? The creation of Nerf Secrets Revealed. And so by summer of 2013 was simply put where I began uploading episodes to it. And that actually was something out there that I could try and convince everyone out there that I would be ready for YouTube all over again, without anything that I had done in the past. Hopefully. And of course, it did take a lot of time, but I was able to get through all that as soon as possible. Because mid-June of 2018 was a time where I made my channel completely public again, and of course, my family did eventually find out that my YouTube channel was back online again, in my control, and made to be public all over again. And wow, were they angry at me. But of course I was able to, well, dish out the anger and the pain from them by showing them an emotional video of myself that I took just after I had regained control of my channel back in September of 2016, and then I eventually had it uploaded to my channel, so this way they could find out that I would try my best to not allow any content that was so horrific and horrendous to be uploaded again. And it actually worked. I now had full permission and full privileges to be able to upload to my channel yet again. But you know what though? In the 2 years since that event had taken place, I feel like that there could have been a lot of other things that I would have had to worry about. But you know what though? Considering what I've already gone through, and considering how I've actually managed to do a lot of things here and there on my channel since that time, since those years had passed by, I'd say I could just keep going here. Because my channel is already doing pretty good with the SFW related content that I've been uploading, and more importantly, with how positive of an influence I was trying to be to as many people out there. And I certainly will keep more content coming out on my channel, but you know what? In order to do so, you must like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side. Otherwise, you won't get nothing.